Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In my previous video, I talked about the first law of motion, Newton's first law of motion, wherein we stated that if the net external force acting on a body is zero, its acceleration is zero. Now let us talk about the second law, Newton's second law of motion. This is a general statement which establishes a relation between the net external force and the acceleration of the body. We will be talking about a net external force acting on the body. And what is that equal to? Let's find out. Before going further, let me introduce you to something called momentum. Now this momentum is the product of mass and velocity. You know, mass is a scalar quantity and velocity is a vector. Scalar into vector, which means that momentum is also a vector quantity. So this is the product of mass and velocity. It will have magnitude, direction, and it will add according to the triangle law of addition, triangle or parallelogram law of addition. So these are three basic things that all the vectors obey. Now please listen to my questions very carefully. You have a small car and you have a big truck. Cars छोटी ही होती है truck से. At times I give obvious information. You can ignore that part. But listen to me carefully now. Now you have a truck and you have a car. Both of them are parked on a horizontal road. Can you tell me which of the two will require a greater force if I want to bring both of them to same speed in same time? Obviously the truck would require a greater force. This thing you all know. Now let us suppose that this car and this truck, they are moving with the same speed. They are moving with the same speed and you want to stop both of them in the same time. So if I talk about the opposing force that would be required, which one of the two will require a greater opposing force? Will your answers change? No, obviously no. A body with a greater mass will require a greater force and a greater opposing force. This means that when we are talking about force, mass plays an important role. Another example can be like you are standing somewhere and you are trying to catch a stone. Now you will obviously find it easier to catch a lighter stone compared to a heavier stone. So while trying to catch a heavy stone, you will always feel a greater effect of the force than that compared to the lighter one. So these two examples kind of demonstrate us that mass is an important parameter that has to be considered when we are discussing about the effect of force. This thing is clear. So this was all about mass. Now let us consider speed. Speed is another factor that needs to be considered. Let us see how. Let us consider another parameter, that is speed. So if I have a gun, not this one. Now if I have a gun and a bullet is fired with a greater speed, it will always cause much damage as compared to a bullet that is fired with a moderate speed. So earlier we were considering the effect of force, which was having some connection with the mass. Now we are trying to think upon, are there other quantities or are there other parameters to be considered while trying to find out the effect of force. So I now think that speed is something that also needs to be considered. So likewise, for the same mass, the greater the speed, the greater opposing force will be required to stop the body in a given time. So with these examples, we are now in a position to say that this product of mass and velocity, which I introduced you in the beginning as momentum, has something to do with the effect of force. The momentum, which is the product of mass and velocity, has something to do with the force. So let me put this together in some different words. The greater the change in momentum in a given time, the greater is the force that needs to be applied. You can always take some time to think upon. I think up till now everything is clear. Okay, so now let's start playing cricket. Batting karni hai, bowling karni hai. Of course, everybody prefers batting. So if I have this ball, cricket ball, if I throw it towards you, how will you catch this? If you are somebody who is familiar with the game, you must have seen the cricketers trying to catch the ball like this. They are not abruptly catching the ball. They are moving their hands like this. Don't know the exact position to catch this ball. They are catching it like this way of catching hurts. So if you are a novice, a beginner, you will always try to catch the ball like this. But if you are a seasoned cricketer, if you are into the game, you will always catch the ball like this. Got it? So what is this experienced cricketer doing? He is allowing some greater time. He's allowing some greater time to stop this ball. He allows a greater time to stop this ball. So in this act, he is drawing his hands in the backwards direction. Novice, on the other hand, will try to catch this ball instantly. Jaan jaye, haddiyan toote, bas pakadni hai. So what is the novice doing? What is the beginner doing? He is trying to apply a greater force. His aim is to stop the ball, but he is not using the correct technique. He wants to stop this ball, but he will end up hurting himself because he needs to provide a much greater force to stop this ball instantly. However, if you are allowing some time to stop this ball, you are allowing a greater time to stop this ball, you won't hurt yourself that much. You won't have to apply that much force. So what do you get from this? The force not only depends upon the change in momentum, but it also depends upon how fast that change is brought about. What I mean to say is that if this change in momentum is brought about in a short duration of time, a greater force needs to be applied. So this means now I'm talking about the rate of change of momentum, which is change of momentum in a given time. So greater the rate of change of momentum, greater is the force. Now again, let us consider two bodies. In this case, one is heavier, one is lighter. Now two bodies having different mass, if initially they both are at rest, now consider that I apply the same force on the two bodies in a given interval of time. For the same interval of time, I apply the same fixed force on the two bodies and for the same interval of time, for the same duration. Initially both were at rest. So what will you notice? The lighter body will tend to acquire a greater speed than the heavier body. Why is it so? Because the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied. Now if I have some constant force applied for the same duration of time, after the end of this time interval, the two bodies, the lighter and the heavier ones, their change of momentum is same. What do we conclude? The same force applied for the same duration of time on two different bodies results in the same change in momentum for the two different bodies. The lighter body picks up a greater speed as compared to the heavier body, such that the change in momentum for the two cases is same. After the end of the time interval, the change in momentum for the two cases remains same. Remember I said that momentum is also a vector. Now in all these examples, we have only talked about the mass and the magnitude of the velocity, that is speed. We have not yet considered the vector aspect of the momentum, like the direction. The directions have not been incorporated. In all these examples, the vector character of the momentum has not been evident. So let us consider another example for this case. In all these examples that we have discussed, the momentum and the change of momentum, they have the same direction. But you know, this is life and this is not always the case. So I made this for you. Suppose this is a stone. I made this from a clay, by the way, and you tie the stone to a thread. Now suppose I try to rotate this stone. Suppose I fix some length of the string and I try to rotate this stone or a ball in the horizontal plane like this. Is it visible? I can hurt my eyes. Move it like this in the horizontal plane. Suppose this ball is rotated in the horizontal plane. This ball is rotated in the horizontal plane with uniform speed. That is, the mass is fixed and the magnitude of velocity is fixed. Okay, so this is not exactly horizontal. What am I doing? I don't even know how to do this. So this is the case. Is it visible? So I'm applying some force, and this force is applied by my hands to this string, which is causing this ball to rotate in the horizontal plane. This means that the magnitude of momentum is fixed, however the direction is changing. The direction is changing. It is moving in a circle. The ball is moving in a circle. The direction is changing. The direction is changing every now and then. Path of the ball is a circle in the horizontal plane. What that means is force is related to rate of change of momentum, which not only depends upon the magnitude of the change of the momentum, but also on its direction. This force is provided by our hands to the string, which is causing the motion of the ball in the horizontal plane. Now for the same fixed length of the string, if I try to move this ball with a greater speed, I will be applying a greater force. Now next case is you have to shorten the length of the string. What will happen then? This ball will move in a circle of smaller radius. You can try this at home. If you try to move this in a horizontal plane, you will notice that you will be requiring a greater force to move this in the horizontal plane. And if you combine these two cases, greater speed for the string of shorter length, then again the force applied by your hands on the string in order to keep the ball in the horizontal plane, the force will be more. The greater the change in momentum vector, the greater is the applied force. Mind it, the change in velocity or the change in momentum includes the change in their magnitude as well as a change in their directions. The change can be either way. It can be in terms of magnitude, its direction, or both of these. So these observations will finally enable you to give your statement for the Newton's second law of motion, which is the rate of change of momentum of the body. The rate of change of the momentum of the body is directly proportional to the applied force and takes place in the direction in which the force acts. So that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and do not forget to like this video and write your beautiful comments in the comment section below, and I'll be back with my next video. Till that time, you do not forget to take really good care of yourselves, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you are new to my channel, hi, this is Pooja and I make videos on topics related to physics and life.